Well, almost done of my Saturday. I just watched Tipsy and Dixie win. You know, again, another sweet and sour card to watch. Were We Welcome just, Mario called me and texted me after and said, we treated the filly up the same way we treated Walk on the Moon. Here's a filly that struggled with allergies. Not bad enough that we had to turn her out, I thought. But enough, you can clearly see the results. The best 2 miles of her life charted were June, her first 2 lifetime miles. She's just, it's a struggle, and it's not that she can't do it. It is that she can't do it. But it's the whole, every time we scope this filly, now we didn't scope her today because, of course, we're racing in Hanover and they don't have a scope there. But it didn't matter. I can tell you how she scoped. Mucus, pimples, redness in her throat. Now, it's hard to judge too because she went faster than the other filly did, I think, or the same speed, and finished 5th. And for sure, Tipsy and Dixie's race, the track when she went was in much better condition, I assume, than it was when Were We Welcome went. So, did she catch a tougher division? It's hard to gauge when the track's so bad and they're going so slow. I could ask James and Mario. It doesn't matter. I don't want to upset Mario anymore, but he takes his job very seriously. This is a filly that right now is paid into the Breeders' Crown and has 1/3 the money made that Tipsy and Dixie does. And when we broke Tipsy and Dixie, I didn't even want to pay the staking service to take her name. I staked her. I paid all the payments on her. I just thought she was a nice filly, but why do I need to pay the staking service? We're only staking her to the Ontario Sire Stakes. One filly we staked to everything on earth. And right up until June, we thought she was the best filly. And the other filly, we staked with the bare minimum. To the point where I didn't even pay a third party to stake her. I staked her myself. One filly's got 3 times as much made as the other one. And one making $36,000 in Ontario in the staking program. And she's still got, 1-2 stakes left. And now I assume she's virtually got a berth into the final. What's that? Semifinals, yeah, semifinals. So you never know with this game, and I got a couple of emails after from people that were angry, and I get it, you're angry. I know you're angry that the filly's racing bad. I'm one of your partners. I'm angry too, but I'm not angry. I didn't watch the race. I missed it. Amy and I were eating, and all I saw was 2 angry emails come in. So I'm like, geez, please tell me, did Mario get her in a bad spot, or what happened with the filly? So I couldn't find the replay, and I didn't want to ask the angry people. So I called one of our partners that didn't say a word. I said, hey, what happened with the filly? She got away in the 2-hole and walked. Appears that's exactly what happened. So I don't know whether the frustrated and angry people just didn't articulate themselves well enough, but it appeared they were angry at Mario when, how the hell can you blame the guy? He got away in the 2-hole and finished 5th. It wasn't like he got locked in or he got parked or anything. He gave her the trip he was supposed to, and she raced bad. Now, for the filly herself, she's not lame. There's nothing wrong with her other than the fact that you see now the difference. This filly, and I looked at all her scopes. We scoped them and scoped them and scoped them. She didn't appear that her scope was bad enough for the way she's racing. We stopped with Off-Road Hanover. We stopped with Frilly Fringes. We stopped with One My Heart Hanover. We stopped with a number of horses. Blue Monk, horses that I knew could not function. She did not make that list, except here we are. Here we are. She looks terrible. So I said to Mario, listen, just relax. It's clearly not your fault. And he said, I treated her the same way we did with Were We Welcome. I had the vet in. I took her blood. She trained good. I believe everything he said. It's just the way the cookie crumbles. That's it. This game is not for the faint of heart. And don't look for it to give you a hand up if you fall down. It'll run you over, stop, and back over your head. And that's how horse racing can be sometimes. So for those of you out there that don't Were We Welcome, my partners on the filly, she'll be okay. She'll come around. And somebody said, well, when do the allergies go away? It depends what she's allergic to. But usually when the cold air comes, so I think what we'll do is we'll just take a step back with Were We Welcome. Maybe give her a couple of weeks off, bring her back in, try to keep her fresh. She doesn't have that many starts. we keep her fresh. We can maybe make the autumn series with her and start her up and try and get some. And that's the worst thing, is they don't put on muscle the same. They don't look the same. They don't feel the same. When you can't breathe, when you have allergies like that, it just really eats away at you. So yeah, it's frustrating and depressing, but everybody that owns War We Welcome is getting a real eye-opening look at how difficult it is sometimes. The smallest little things that really, you're out there, you're probably, Amy has allergies. I don't, superhuman, but Amy has allergies. Other people might have allergies. You can go to work, you can function, but could you play sports at a high level? That's what we're asking this filly to do. Now, these allergies will dissipate, but when you look at, need your opinion, here's a filly who went out and crushed them first over in 52-1. And then went out the next week and looked like a rag doll. Why? Scoped her after, full of allergies, mucus, and pimples and redness. So you can have nights where you can function, when everything's working well. Now remember, she didn't race in the grassroots. We trained her up. She was on like a 2-week schedule with a pretty stiff training mile in between, and she came out winning 52. We come back 7 days later when you think everything will be fine. She has to be sharp as a tack. She looks like a wet noodle. And that's what we're dealing with. It's very difficult, but you do the best you can. So if the filly can't do it right now, don't ask her. There still is, although it is September, we are in the year of COVID-19, and there's lots of racing left. So, War We Welcome, I'll probably step back, turn her out for a week. We'll keep her on the supplements we've had her on, but we'll turn her out for a week and let her get her bearings under her, see if we can get her back on track. We'll train her up real hard in a couple of weeks, 3 weeks, and see if the allergies have dissipated. See if the time off and letting her body relax allows her to recover. So that's the plan with War We Welcome. I know I started with the third last horse on the list, so let's start at the front. Adrenaline Rush. Adrenaline Rush is going to race this week. Can't ask a lot of these horses to be doing more than they're doing. I know some of our horses that we thought were our very best horses are struggling. Walk of the Moon up against those Grand Circuit and top-end horses. He's looked ordinary, but done his work. He's trotted 3 times now, I believe, in 156 for a 2-year-old trotter. Pretty hard to ask him to do much more than he is. So although he hasn't put on 6 figures, he certainly is a very, very good horse. Adrenaline Rush has had two grassroots victories now, both of them very, very good. He was very impressive in his last outing, and I suspect he'll come back with another good race again. Kevin seems to have him dialed in very, very good. Barbie's Crown is back going now, back jogging. She got shoes on last week. She's back jogging. We'll start training her, I guess, towards the end of September. Beef and Cheddar is racing on Monday. He's starting to come around. Looks like he was steering better, acting better, and raced much, much better in Sarnia. Braemar, we're going to enter Braemar into qualify on Tuesday, although I'm not going to lie to you, I've looked on the Standardbred Canada site. There doesn't appear to be qualifiers on Tuesday, which makes no sense to me. I'm going to literally call the racetrack in a minute and ask them what's going on with the qualifiers. I suppose if there's no qualifiers, worst case scenario, if we have to get them qualified, Flamborough's back going, they could go over Saturday morning. Wouldn't be ideal, especially since Saturday's 3 days before the next qualifying session. So I don't know what's going on with the qualifiers, but I will find out. My plan is to have Eglaire AM, Braemar, and Nancy Allison all qualify on Tuesday morning. We'll see how that shakes out. Better's Hope is off for a little while now. We'll probably bring him back later on in the fall and start him back up. Blue Monk is back now. He's at the Kevin McMaster Burn. He started back up today. Brilliant Corners is in on Tuesday. He's been racing very good. He's been racing good. He had one good race. That was his only race. And then he re-qualified in 58 the other day. Sylvain said he was very, very good. Won the qualifier by 9 or 10 lengths and looked good from what I could see. Very happy with him. Broadway Roll, it's been a shitty summer. You guys know that. It's tough to get a race for her, tough to get her in, tough to get her spot. But as the fall drags on, when Flamborough opens, when Grand River shuts down, when London opens, I believe you'll see lots of spots to race Broadway Roll. That's really the plan, is get her some experience. Then when the cool air comes, and again, I'm saying that in the sense that she could have allergies also, but when the cool air comes and the slower horses creep out from behind the door, that is when Broadway Roll will shine. Hopefully this winter, the next horse in the exact same boat, Cambridge Star. There was nothing wrong with Cambridge Star. I own almost all of them. We qualified him in 2-2, 2-3, 2-2, and I said, that's not going to cut it. Just kick him out the field. We'll bring him back when 2-2 and 2-3 will cut it, and that's in the fall. Can't Muscle Me, I was just talking to Amy. We'll probably bring her back in end of next week. She was in the stall for 2 weeks. Small paddock at the farm for a week. And now has been at the farm for 2 weeks, 2.5 weeks. We'll bring her back in a week from tomorrow and start her back up Monday morning. Captain's Maid is racing this week. Aside from not being able to pace in 51, she's had a pretty solid summer. I expect she'll have another good start this week. Carry a Big Stick, just putting on miles with him. I'll take Carry a Big Stick. When we get all some of these horses situated and I come home, I'll bring Carry a Big Stick back up to the top barn and start going with him. He's a little tricky, that guy, and Bob and Harry and Nellie are just doing a great job putting miles on him right now. Cut the Line is back now. She came back yesterday. You said she looks good?
Yep.
She looks real good. So we'll see how she is. She'll jog for a month and start training. Desperado is racing Monday at Mount Gilead. I'm driving there. 5 hours and 37 minutes, says Samsung, from my bed to Mount Gilead Racetrack. Eternity Road is back in now. How's the line look? Did you know?
He's not back yet.
When's he coming in?
Next week.
I want to bring him in right away.
Well, we just talked about it today, so unless we're going to go do it right now.
Seems to be a mutiny. Amy, she said we're bringing her back in next week. So I thought he was back in now. He'll come back in next week. First Glance will race this coming week, I suspect. He may not. He may train on Wednesday because I believe their grassroots is a week from Tuesday, if my memory serves me correctly. Fox Valley Britska, second in his last start. I wouldn't say he's quite up there with Mac Lobel just yet, but definitely the best race of his life. Second in overnight. I see that Mike Oosting is driving him on, must be Tuesday, in Indiana. Frilly Fringe is back in now, jogging, and she'll begin training at the end of the month. No, it'll start first part of next month. Did she grow up any?
Yeah, she's already big.
So she just filled out. Well, that's good. So Frilly Fringe is back jogging now. Girls with Swirls is also back going now. Grayus and New Red will re-qualify at Northfield Park on Thursday morning. Made a little hiccup the other day. I think she was just being a little goofy and a little full in the face and a little green, and she just rolled off. So we will try a different tactic on Thursday. I'll aim for 57-3, and we'll see how she goes. GW Chrome, great news. He was walking sound in the barn today. Very, very odd situation with him. He kicked the gate, cut the back of his ankle, but he has been lame for 2 weeks. And we x-rayed the entire right hind leg the other day. Not so much as a shadow. Nothing. And Jason had called me this morning and said, oh, by the way, GW Chrome was walking sound today. So that's good. It's a good start. Holy Chick is ready to start training in Mario's barn. Italian Grit, he's almost ready to be turned out, to be honest. Raced a couple of times. He was a horse also. You talk about allergies. The last start he raced to me, let go a little bit down the lane, scoped him. Full of white mucus, allergy, mucus, pimples, just immaturity. I wish there was a way that we could see this coming, but can't really. So Italian Grit, probably going to race him twice more for a little experience and then kick him out in the field. Eclair AM is qualifying on Tuesday, hopefully. As I said, I haven't seen the qualifying list out yet, but I suspect she's going to be qualifying on Tuesday morning. I'm a Lovely Lady was a favorite Monday evening at Northfield Park. So yes, right after Mount Gilead, I'm going to get in the car, drive an hour and a half back to Northfield Park, where I will race I'm a Lovely Lady and Roy Hill. Talk about sweet and sour. I'm Hill on Wheels is now ready to be crowd. He's at Mario's barn. He hurt that left hind leg. We'll get that crowd up this week. Jazzy Judy is going to school off the gate 210 or 212 in the race bike on Thursday. Jason said she trained very, very good today at Northfield. Jesse Balboa will stay out for another few weeks, and then we'll bring him back in. No particular reason. It just ran out of time, right? The grass is green right now. He wasn't racing. There's no real reason for him to be here. He wasn't lame or anything. So he went out to the field. Keystone Raven is back training good. Mario's been very happy with him. Let's Roll On with her. Let's Roll On is in the field in Ohio for another couple of 3 weeks, and then he'll come back. He'll probably come back to Canada with us, I guess. There's no need for him to be out too long. Miss Meringue is racing in Mount Gilead on Monday also. Good class for her. It appears, anyway, from what I can see. And she trained awesome the other day. You guys might have saw a little clip of her training. 2-3 last half, 59 last quarter, and 29 seconds at Northfield off the gate, and she was very good. Mama Knows Best also going to Mount Gilead. She should be good on Monday. A couple of starts with the trotting hobble. She'd be good for her. Her stake race is next, a week from this coming Thursday, aside from the fair on Monday. Momo is racing Tuesday, and Luke Ebersol will drive Momo. Luke's hair is actually longer than Momo's tail, so I don't know if that's really pertinent in any way, but it's still funny. I think of Luke, he's got the... Anyway. My Jazz is racing Sunday for $300,000. We will have My Jazz in the race bike Tuesday or Wednesday at Northfield. We'll go a mile on 2-2, 2-3 with her 4 days out. And that'll be it for Jazzy. She'll be as good as we can have her ready to be. No free lunch. Had a right hind curb cryoed the other day. Not a big deal. Probably explained a lot of what happened at Sarnia. He'll be ready to go for next... I hope he's ready to go next week. I have to talk to Harry about him. Northern Blizzard just got some bet work done. He'll be entered in at the first available time. I don't know when his next grass route is. He'll be there. And hopefully there's enough time to get a start in him before then. That would be helpful. Off-Road Hanover's back jogging now. He came in a little bit thin, Amy said, so we got to put a lot of weight on him. Perfect Record's not thin. He looks like a walrus. He qualified twice, once with hobbles, once without. James believes he'd rather race him with the hobbles, so we will. Rose Run Why Not races with hobbles. She was fantastic qualifying the other day. My God. We missed a big... There's a lot of money left on the table when she got injured in May. Rose Run Why Not she just feels like a stone cold killer. She's got 2 grassroots, 2 Buckeyes, and then hopefully the final of the Buckeye, and that's what we got for her. Roy Hill is in a maiden on Monday. We're just trying to get Roy Hill back on track. What a waste of talent this guy has been this summer. Just decided he didn't want to work, didn't want to do his work, but when you see that little flicker he can put in sometimes, he is so fast. Just a very frustrating situation across the board with him. Set the Mood is back training now, I assume. Have you seen him train at all?
I've seen him jog. He looks alright.
So, Set the Mood is definitely jogging. I believe he's back training, but I haven't had any verification of this thing. But he's a big colt, and he looks really good. So Admirable, 3 seconds in a row now. Don't see her in to go this week. I wonder if Kevin's taking her to Mohawk. That'd be cool. So Admirable just looks like she's ready to explode. She's a nice filly. I know Kevin loves her. I like her. Travis really likes her. So excited to see what she's going to do. Cyrus Blue Chip, trying to get him back on track and keep him on track. I guess not back on track, on track. He paced 57 once. We thought there was something there, and then he got sick. We brought him back, and then he threw that horrendous mile in the other day. Kevin said he wanted to do his knees, shock his knees, get his head up, and then I think he said that. And then I suppose he'll race him this coming week. I'm not sure where. Stacey Hanover's been in 2:12. She's going to go in 2:5 this week, Mario said, at Mohawk on Wednesday. Sunshine in May is racing. It will continue to race until we decide to not race her anymore. She's a decent little filly. I think, at the end of her season, we'll race her a couple of times at London. That would probably suit her a lot better. And then we'll see what we do with her moving forward. Sweet Ambitions, 2-2 or 2-3 with no hobbles on the other day. Mario was very happy with her also. She's ready to go. Tanzanite Tricks racing Monday at Mohawk. Now, there's a tricky thing. Her and Perfect Record actually have stakes. I want to check that when we're done. They have stakes coming up in New Jersey at Freehold, same as Rooney did. Now, the only downfall, I've said this a couple of times with Rooney, is Rooney's stake race is on the same effing day as the Ohio Select Sale. So I have to be at the sale. So we'll see what takes place with Rooney. I know Ken's keeping an eye on the eligibility list and horses that are racing in it.
What day is it?
That's on the 18th of September. There's not that many horses eligible in this stake race, and the way Rooney continues to progress, if we can get him real tight and have him looking flashy, I wouldn't be scared to put him up against most any mid-condition horses on a half-mile track. If he decides that somehow he's a half-mile horse now. So we'll see what happens with Rooney Blue Chip in the coming weeks. Where are we at? Tanzanite Tricks. We were talking about Tanzanite Tricks. That's My Girl is coming back to Ohio Monday morning. We're going to dig into her, see if we can get her back on track. Tipsy and Dixie, fantastic again. just jogged in Hanover. Now, they only went 2.7. The track was obviously off and slow, but James just put her on the front. It looked like he just literally trained her. She won very, very easily. This brings Tipsy and Dixie to 36,000 made this year. That is incredible. Very good job by Harry Polton with Tipsy and Dixie. Walk on the Moon is going to race this week in the Wellwood Eliminations. I know that'll be a little bit of a tricky situation, but at the same time, here's a colt that, aside from one bad race, he's been pretty good throughout. He always trots. He's a very handy colt. And I went over this at the start. So Walk on the Moon will be racing this week. Warwe Was Up is done for the season. Got to get some work done on him. Patch him up. Warwe Welcome. A very disappointing mile from her today. 5th. Trotted. I saw 2.7. I almost threw up. And then I realized the track was off 3 seconds. And then Tipsy and Dixie only went 2.7 in a piece. And the track must have been better when she went because it was stopped raining. It was warm. So I don't know what to tell you. Warwe Welcome was poor. Well and Down hasn't been poor. She's been very good. A little tough to drive. I said to somebody the other day, it's like somebody jammed a Clydesdale into a little poodle's body. She's very difficult, and she wanders and got a strong mouth on her. But Luke Ebersol had qualified her already for us, so he's got a good idea of what's going on with Well and Down. And then Won My Heart Hanover is now back in back jogging. We'll get her back going in training by the mid to end part of September. So those are all the 2-year-olds. I'll be back to 3-year-olds in just a second.